In the year 1300, in the wind-worn region of Brittany, a girl with striking red hair was born into the depths of nobility. Her name was Jean, and from her earliest days it was clear her fate was not her own. Her beauty was seen as an asset, her future a series of bargains made by those around her. At just 12 years old, Jean was married off, her youth exchanged for land, treaties, and advantage. She bore 2 children, and though the burdens were heavy and the decisions not her own, she molded herself to duty, as so many noble women before her had done. But fate, ever restless, was not content to let Jean's spirit dim. When her first husband died 14 years into their union, she found herself once again a pawn in games beyond her command. Her next marriage would bind her to the very heart of the Breton ruling family, a union forged by politics, not passion. Yet even this was wrenched from her grasp. Under pressure from powerful rivals, the Pope himself annulled her marriage, forcing Jean to accept the will of distant monarchs and the Church. Still, she endured. Then, at last, love lit its rare and brilliant flame. With Jean de Clisson, Jean found a partner and a soulmate. Together, they raised 5 children and wove a life full of laughter, quiet joy, and hope on their Brittany estates. Their happiness should have endured, but the drums of war would soon shatter their peace. In 1341, the Duke of Brittany died without an heir, plunging the region into a storm of succession. France and England circled like wolves, hungry for control. Olivier, steadfast and true, supported Charles de Blois, the French-backed claimant. Honor guided his actions, and for a time, he was the hero, recapturing lost cities for his cause. Yet politics, ever vicious, devours its own. Suspicions were stoked, whispers spread, and when Olivier was traded back after capture, rumors branded him a traitor. The French crown lured him to Paris, promising diplomacy and trust. Instead, he found iron manacles and cold contempt. In a mockery of justice, Olivier was tried, condemned, and beheaded. His lifeless body was displayed in the capital, his severed head impaled in his homeland, a cruel beacon of warning and shame. Jean's world shattered. She brought her sons to see their father's head, no longer a comfort, but a symbol of outrage and pain. There, beneath the grisly sight, she took an oath that would shake the foundations of kingdoms. She would have vengeance. At 43, Jean sold all that remained of her fortunes. She raised a private army, not for conquest, but for retribution. In a masterstroke of cunning, she infiltrated a French loyalist castle, broke through its defenses, and dealt ruthless justice to its garrison. Only one man she spared. To carry her message to King Philip, Jean de Clisson sends her regards. The world soon knew her fury. With wealth and cunning, Jean purchased 3 warships, painting the hulls midnight black and unfurling sails stained in crimson red. She named her flagship My Revenge, a vessel that would haunt the coasts of Normandy and beyond. She turned pirate, targeting only French ships with a merciless hand, cutting down crew, beheading nobles herself, and leaving just enough survivors to tell her tale. Terror gripped the French, while England recognized both her daring and her value, offering their support to the Lioness of Brittany. For years, her legend grew across the Channel and among the shattered fleets of France. But in 1348, her luck ran dry. Her fleet was ambushed, her ships dashed or captured. Yet Jean's spirit refused surrender. She escaped in a fragile rowboat, sailing alone for 6 days on a stormy, indifferent sea, refusing death's embrace. When the battered, red-haired woman finally staggered onto English shores, she was both broken and unbowed. King Edward III welcomed her, honoring her courage and loss. 2 years later, the king who had destroyed her world, Philip VI, was dead. Jean, her vengeance fulfilled, moved towards peace. She married Sir Walter Bentley, an English knight, and lived out her final years in quiet dignity in Brittany, her face marked by everything she had endured. History remembers her, a noblewoman turned pirate queen who burned the world for justice and whose courage blazed brighter than the sails of her black ships.